The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is putting a hit on President Donald Trump's son, Barron Trump, with an inflammatory video claiming to track his location. State-run television in Iran is broadcasting a propaganda video claiming to show the locations of his residence, university, and personal security according to opposition outlet Iran International. Iran's report concludes with a $10 million offer for the life of the president's son. The Iranian regime has a long history of threatening the lives of Trump, his family, and his allies, often in graphic ways. Depictions of the president being killed appear frequently on signs, billboards, and other public displays in Tehran. Trump has not commented on the threats being made against his family, but regularly acknowledges and muses on the fact that he is, quote, #1 on the kill list for Iran.
Threats here from Iran directed toward Barron Trump specifically. They're saying they're putting a $10 million reward up for grabs, and they're showing all their people in Iran via their state television that he can be found here or there and give away certain other little details. And it's mostly an AI-generated clip that they're sharing. But the threat is real.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect, being the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, with sincerity, truth, with charity. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, which the world ignorantly calls God. Ba'ashem means in the name of. And Yahushai is the true name of the Son, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahushai. And I'm going to be doing this lesson. Give me just 1 second. Just move 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to be doing this lesson on this new video from Iran that just came out. Basically, man, you have this real, I'm going to just do a real quick update, but you basically have this Iranian threat video for Barron Trump. Now this guy, he's been around for quite a while now. He's been one of their puppets, right? And you know, they kept him for a later time period. Right, they kept this guy for, you know, not many people know too much about him. Right, not many people have videos of him speaking. Right, and there's a reason for that, man, because you know this guy's a puppet. You know, I think they're going to use a certain. I'm just speculating here, of course, but they're gonna use him as a certain, you know, part of possibly another false flag event, right? So you have this Iranian video. Of this threat to Barron Trump, right? And the first precept I'm going to bring out is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, bring it out in the. Let's bring it out in the NIV version. It says, in order that Satan might not outwit us, for we are not unaware of his schemes, right? And the KJV says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? Because ultimately, yeah, we're not. You know, when you come to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you see that these things that they put on the news, these things that they show you on news outlets, these whatever. You're always you're not taking it with you're taking everything with a grain of salt. You understand that everything is, you know, what these people do, man, is they lie about things, right? They make up certain statistics. I mean, they've been doing this for years, right? Not that long ago they had that C-19, okay. And a lot of people during that time period, there was a great paradigm shift. A lot of people were waking up, and now a lot of us, a lot of people, right, of our people, the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and you speckled birds, they're realizing, this devil's a fucking liar. Okay, what he tells us on the news is complete fucking bullshit. Everything they tell us, right? And if they're telling us something, right? And not everything on the news is how you say it. Some things actually will actually play in part in real life, but it's all part of their script, right? But not everything on the news is you have to take for truth. Okay, but Slocky, as I was saying, yeah, they make up a lot of different things, make up a lot of different news headlines, right? But they have this character, Barron Trump, and not much is known about him, but I think they're gonna use him to possibly play into a what's it called? How you say it? A character for another Black Swan event, right? And they actually had a book, I believe it was called The Last Trump, the last president, and it actually mentions this guy's name, a guy named Barron, right? And there's characters named Barron, and there's a character named Trump, right? But this just shows you, man, this is all some scripted bullshit, right? But either way, right, this is all of the Lord, Yahweh Shemi Oshai, right? But they know who's going to be a president. They know this is not when somebody's elected as president, man. They know way before, okay? It's all scripted, man. Okay, they're all part of this one big family called they're and they know years before. No, they don't give people the chance to vote, right? But they knew this guy was gonna be the president and the president's son. They knew all of this shit. But just going back to the topic of this video, man. They're gonna be possibly a Black Swan event, right? With this guy, I'm gonna bring out the word Black Swan, right? It says Black Swan event is a rare, they have some sort of occurrence and with extreme consequences. I'm just speculating here, of course. Okay? They have some sort of event, right? They have this dude, whatever, okay, and then this is how it causes one person to make the wrong move, and then another person, just say, gets angry, starts bombing a certain place, right? And look, we know according to the biblical prophecy, man, the American army has to go to the Middle East, right? To go be utterly fucking destroyed, right? That's in the book of Joel 2:20, and with this recent draft that they're coming out with, right? By December 2026, they're gonna start speaking about a lot of that. Okay, let's bring out Joel 2:20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, and with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things." Hey, bro, that's ultimately, man, that's speaking about what the Northern Army, which is the North American Army, and when they're gonna send a bunch of people out to war, man, right? Hey, they need a good reason. Okay, they need a good reason for it, right? And you have this conflict with Iran and Babylon, right? Which they also know that America is Babylon, right? But they're uploading a lot of these different videos, and they have this video basically saying that they're trying to put a hit on Barron Trump for $10 million, okay? For $10 million fucking dollars, and they say they know this guy's location, so hey, this could be this could be one of those things that I'm just sounding the alarm here, right? Because the scriptures say what? Let's bring this out. Joel 2:1. It says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain." Okay. It says, "Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, and for it is nigh at hand." Okay, so I'm just sounding the alarm, right? But what I was saying was, they could use this as an event to Kickstarter, right? To give people a reason to go fight in the military, right? To start ramping up the draft, right? And every single character that they have, man, every single politician, celebrity, they play a role, right? It's Esau's minions, okay, and ultimately they play a role, okay, and this particular person, Barron Trump, right? They might use him for whatever. They might use him for another Black Swan event, right? They might have him be a spokesperson. I'm not gonna say for sure because I don't know, but I'm just sounding the alarm, right? But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick lesson, just a quick video, right? Just wanted to show, they're gonna have more distractions, more Black Swan events coming out, more false flags. You best believe, man. They're gonna have this. They're gonna have a lot of these different things coming up, right? And then ultimately, a lot of people are gonna get sent off to the military, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring out one more precept. Because this war is going to get a lot of people mourning. Okay, 2 Ezra 16:33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands, and their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Okay, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay, so ultimately, man, these wars are prophesied to happen, okay, and they have all these different, how do you think these women are going to be mourning? It's because all the men are going to get sent out to war. Yeah, the men of Yahweh Shem Yashai, the Lord is going to be with them, okay. These men aren't going to be sent out to the military. The Lord's going to have protection for them, right? But these. There has to be certain things that take place before that. What I'm trying to say, and they're gonna start drafting people, right? And with that, they have to come up with more schemes, more what's the word, man? More reasons to send people out. Okay, they have to come up with more different new scripts, okay? Because they can't just use the same script over and over again, telling people to go, get sent out to the military. No, they have to come up with new schemes, okay? They have to come up with new things, right? And you have to understand too, just when people see these things, they feel the need to fight for their country, okay? Fight for America, Babylon the Great. Hey, bro, that's how these people get people. That's how these military, they get people to come join their military. Hey, bro, so people then they start thinking, I'm doing this for Trump. I'm doing this for America. And then they get sent off to war, man. So, you cannot be ignorant of these things. Okay, all this is part of their script. I just wanted to make this lesson. I didn't want to make this too long because it's just a quick video. But expect more false flags to be coming out like this. So with that, I'm gonna give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone, and Shalom.